Okay, what we have here is an 81 Monte Carlo with a V6 229 carbureted. It's currently got 2 coats of epoxy primer on it right now. The front is lifted with airbags. I don't have the rear bags on it just yet. I'm in the process of making my own brackets. You know, I've got the necessities. I've got the ability to get a hold of materials and access to the tools that I need to make them. So if I can do so without spending a whole lot of money and cut out the middleman for shipping, why not? I've had this car for quite a few years, 10 years now, going on 11. Been working on it for about 5-6 years straight. All the work is being done by myself. I'm doing my homework, calling up places, asking questions, making sure I am led in the right direction. I'm the kind of person that would like to just do things right the first time. If I don't get it right the first time, yeah, I'll admit I'd be a little upset, but it's a learning experience and it's a fun experience. I've got a lot of family members that are into cars, car clubs, low riding, hot rods, motorcycle clubs. So working on cars is kind of the thing for me that I just grew up around. Especially G-bodies. I love G-bodies. What I'm gonna do here is I just recently picked up a card that allows me to record videos. I just found out, you know, I'm a little slow on certain things. Then I tend to pick up on them real quick. But until I get a chance to get to my in-laws' house where the car is currently at for me to work on, for right now, I'm just going to give you guys an idea and give you a little show of what I'm working on through my computer. I'm going to flip through some pictures here and show you guys some pics and give you a breakdown and tell you what I'm doing and what I've done. I've had way more pictures than what you're going to see, but my previous PC caught a virus and it melted down, it shut down, and I lost a lot of those pictures. Haven't taken my hard drive in to have to see if I could get those pictures recovered, and a lot of the pictures were a before, during, and after pictures of just about everything I have done to this car up to this point. I do have some before and after, but not really during the process. But I won't even bore you anymore with the details. So here we go, and I will try and make this as clean and as good of a picture as we could possibly get. Okay, here's the car. The frame is in a green etching primer from Duplicolor. The car right now, I believe that was the second coat. The driver's door has got a major ding on it. Guy I bought it from visited his grandmother TJ. Somebody sideswiped it on the side. So instead of playing around with the door, I just went to the junkyard and got a replacement. Later on, I'll just mess with the door and you know, kind of brush up on my Bondo skills, because those aren't really necessarily my good point right now. What we're looking at here is my trunk. Okay, you're looking at a 5-gallon air compressor tank, brass push connect fittings, 200 psi. Those openings on the side here, and here, those are for my amps. This opening here, I may run a plexiglass with a neon light, you know, kind of light it up a little bit. I may even change over that tank and buy a chrome one. Okay, here we have the front end. Shocks, I welded in the bracket myself. Bought the shock relocation kit from Air Ride Technologies. Right there is the bag. It's a Conyatech 2600. I may just switch over to slam bags, but for right now this will give me an idea on how things are going in. You know, like I said, I've had this car for quite a while, so a lot of parts I have, and I'll tell you, I've been through a lot of parts. Paint schemes, I've probably been through 2 or 3 different paint schemes. Parts, sometimes I've been through 2 sets of parts, buying new parts because they just wore out from the car sitting too long, or I just found something better. Like these A-arms. These A-arms are made by Fabtech. These are actually to an S10. They go for a suspension lift kit. But I've been told the geometry is the same for the GMG bodies. So I took them in, paid $100, had them powder coated candy apple red over metallic silver. Bought new ball joints for the S10. You won't believe what I got these for though. On Craigslist, $50 a pair. Brand new, in a bag, all new hardware, washers, bolts, bushings, grease fittings, bump stops. They were all in the bag. I guess the guy had a roommate and left them at his house, and he just wanted them out of his garage. This is a bracket for my rear axle for the airbags that I made at work. No need in spending $50. You know, if anything, I'm looking at maybe $10 in cost of metal, $12 for 3/16 plate, 2 6x6 plates, and I cut those top plates out at 5.5 inches in diameter. Here's my airbag from Air Ride Technologies. This is the bag that goes in the rear. Sits on top of that bracket. Like I said, I may be upgrading to Slam specialty bags, and I'll just keep that bracket and use that. It should work. This is a picture of my Russell steel braided brake lines with the shock, showing I cut and made the bracket and designed it so that the shock has an inch more of travel still left over before it actually bottoms out completely. And in this area, you can see the bump stop. It's a suspension energy bump stop. I still have a ways to cut on that before I even can pretty much have the car almost sitting on frame. Here's a picture of my bumper. Sanded it all down to the original color, the molding. Primed it up. Here's my interior. Center console. I used Duplicolor's Metal Specs metallic red paint and used a clear coat, polyurethane, custom shop brand. Put 2 coats of polyurethane clear on that. It's got a B&M mega shifter, 2 5/8 white face triple gauge set. Got the, we've got a switch box from AVS. 3 switches, LED lights, indicates my power. White face gauges for $50. I got those off of the internet. Whitefaces.net is the place. They've got white face gauges for just about any make and model. New carpeting. Seats from a 2001 Camaro. And here, this picture shows you just how low I'm sitting. The car is sitting on the tires, on the ground, but the car sits so low that the jack really didn't have room to get out from underneath. I have to use that wooden block in order to help pick up my frame high enough to put jack stands underneath the A-arm so I can work on it. Yes, Edelbrock tie rod adjusters. All my linkage painted with the Duplicolor paint and clear coated with a polyurethane clear coat. My tie rods are powder coated silver. Here's a picture of the car while the bumper was off, being primered. Here's my motor V6. Same thing, degreased, cleaned up. Got the chrome valve covers from a hot rod shop. Same thing for the chrome pulleys, except for the smog pump pulley here, which I took in and had it chromed at a chroming shop. And the paint is the same thing. I used Duplicolor 500 degree engine primer, Duplicolor Metal Specs red, and duplicolor engine clear coat. Picture of the car sitting on the floor before I had her running. This picture here shows underneath 2 Via Air 380 compressors, 200 psi, GC 350 extreme valve for my lift, GC 250 extreme valve for my drop, 3/8 half-inch valve for the lift, 3/8 valve for the drop. Got a T coming off. The airline runs up along where my gas tank filler neck is and goes into the trunk and runs alongside the walls to fill up my tank. I just bolted the brackets. I got the brackets for free from AVS. So what I did is I just cut off the top lip and bolted it to the bumper, and then mounted the compressors on. I figured that would be the best place so that they would stay nice and cool. Here's my door panel. Used speaker carpet material. Same thing for the door panel. Sanded it down smooth. Primed it up. Duplicolor red. 2 coats of clear polyurethane. My flag. This is my headliner. And then me and my wife, we took her sewing machine and we put in the Chevy emblems, just so that the passengers in the back seat just don't forget what they're riding in. A view of the driver's side A-arm. After I had put them on, I was checking clearance, making sure, checking to see how the shafts of the ball joints were going to line up. Now here's the everything connected with the spindles, the bags. My spindles were repainted a silver, then a couple coats of the clear. Energy suspension tie rod boots. My frame, picture of the engine bay. I just repainted the under the hood on this one. I used engine paint, gloss black. No clear, just black. Picture of me sanding the hood down when I first started priming the car. This is the first spot that I started at. Picture of the motor. I took it all down, put all new freeze plugs, all new galley plugs, all new head gaskets. Kind of grinded the block down a little bit, gets down some of that roughness. And then I used the engine primer, 2 coats. Then the duplicolor paint and some about 2 to 3 coats of engine clear. Me working on the car. I was working on some wiring, doing some little things here and there, trying to get things cleaned up. Matco. I am a scissor lift mechanic for a heavy equipment rental yard, so I get a lot of my tools off of the Matco truck. Although most of my tools do stay at work, but if I get a chance to remember, I bring my good tools to work on the car. It does help out with all the right proper stuff. This is a picture of the body work I did. Like I said before, the car was sideswiped, so I had to refix a little bit of this line, but I had to mostly fix this line right here. It had about 1/4 of an inch drop. So I had to bondle that all up, hammer it, dolly it, fix it all up. Picture of the frame when I painted it. My frame is completely painted with duplicolor silver. That silver is a nice color. I laid down 2 to 3 coats of epoxy primer after degreasing it, wire brushing it. Laid down about 2 coats of that silver and about 4 coats of polyurethane clear. The clear is a custom shop brand. It's a nice clear. I love the way it laid down. I only used a $15 Harbor Freight spray gun, And I tell you, I got no orange peel. Picture of the frame. Etching primer. Firewall was just painted too. Gloss black. Motor was all pulled out. I did have help pulling that motor and tranny out though, and taking the whole front clip off. Another picture of the frame. And that's pretty much where those brackets for the airbags are going to go. I've got to either weld some 3-inch U-bolt axles or weld some all-thread on so that it's a bolt-in system. I don't want to have to weld it on. My axle I will be taking off, and I will be taking it in to have it powder coated just like the A-arms. Same thing for my lower ones. I will be ordering lower control arms as well and having those powder coated. Here's a picture of the car. How I started sanding it, taping it all down. I think it only took me about I think it took me almost a whole weekend to sand down the whole car. I actually kind of had help too from my father-in-law. We sanded it down together. Picture of underneath the car. It does sit kind of low. This is how I have the car most of the time, so if I do need to work on my exhaust, which I still got to put the original piping in, replace my exhaust. Everything on this car is pretty much brand new. I've replaced everything. Tie rods, bushings, center link, steer gearing box, idler arm, tie rods. About the only thing I have not replaced are my rotors and my spindles and my lower control arms, but everything else is brand spanking new, replaced. Picture of the car sitting in some shade. Some lights. Gotta have me some lights, man. It gets dark out here where I live, and there's not a whole lot. I mean, you know, very seldom do we get stars showing too. Picture of that. Here's a picture of my motor inside already with the gearbox. Gearbox has been painted and clear coated. New power steering lines. New water pump. All my sensors and everything on the motor is brand new. Even the carburetor. Okay. Picture of the interior piece. Again, this is without the clear coat. Duplicolor, metal specs, red. I think I put like 3 or 4 coats on that of paint because it's because it's in the back seat. Here's a picture of my motor. Pretty messy with all the vacuum lines and everything. But you know, air cleaner lid, I took it in, had it chromed out. Chrome valve covers I bought from the hot rod shop. You know, new power steering pump. I even got an electric fan going from Summit. Bought the GM style Chevy logo 16-inch electric fan. Running a 180 thermostat. The carburetor for this motor, if you guys want a brand new carburetor, I'm telling you, you got to go check out guaranteedcarbs.com. I shit you not. AutoZone wanted about $500 for a rebuilt carb for this vehicle. At Guaranteed Carbs, I paid $249 shipping to my door. Lifetime warranty for as long as I own this vehicle. The carburetor, they put it on a bench flow, they test all the vacuums, make sure everything works. And then they put it on a live hot motor for the motor that you need that carburetor for, and do all the adjustments down to the factory specs. When you get your carburetor, all you have to do is just bolt it on and drive. You don't take it in to get it adjusted. You don't do nothing with it except for open it, take it out of the box, bolt it on your motor, start it up, and enjoy. They send you a bag and a Ziploc. Shipping back of your old one is free. If not, you pay a core charge, and it's really not that much. You guys got to check them out. I discovered them. I stumbled on them. GuaranteedCarbs.com. You can't miss them. With an orangutan in a white jacket filling with a carb. Awesome prices. Can't beat them. And out here in California, it ain't no joke for our smog. So for 240 bucks from 500 something was a hell of a deal. White gauges from whitegauges.net. Paid 50 bucks for them. Speaker box material. Those are stickers too. All you do is you just wet it up a little bit and they apply right on, just like putting on tint. Fail proof. And they give you several different designs too to applicate. Since I've got the lighted ones, they also gave me stickers for the digital as well. Or not for digital, I'm sorry, for the analog. Here's a picture of the car sitting on the floor. Another picture of the car. Give you another idea of just how low the car is sitting. And once I get my lower control arms, that gives me about another 2-inch drop. And if I try and get it sit on frame, I might just have it sitting on frame if I get 2-inch drop spindles. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't wear gloves and you mess with an exhaust pipe. It will bite you. Here's a picture of my frame. 4 coats, polyurethane clear, from Custom Shops. It was awesome. $117 for the kit. And I tell you, I love that clear coat. I had no problems. I used the cheap $15 Harbor Freight gun and I didn't get no orange peel. It laid down nice and smooth. Nice shine. Nice shine. Picture of the passenger side. The Russell brake line applied. Picture of my trunk. Scuffed everything all up. Getting ready to prime it. Picture of my bumper after it's been primed up. Picture of the trunk. That was before I took the tranny in to get it rebuilt. And the tranny is rebuilt. It's a 350, 3-speed. There's kind of what the car looked like before. Like I said, a lot of my pictures got lost with my other computer when it crashed. So there was a lot of pictures of what the car looked like before I even started. Tinted windows. I even got a moonroof that I have to put in, but I gotta wait until I get my headliner in first. I gotta work around the picture. I don't want to distort and cut into too much. Here I'm test fitting the bags, making my marks where I gotta cut. There's my damage. That's what I had to work with. That's the damage I had to fix. And if you can see it, how that kind of drops, you can't really see all that good that much, but it's got about a good 1/4 of an inch of drop on that body line that I had to fix. There's the tranny. After I got it back from the tranny shop, painted it up before putting it in. Even bought a new stall converter for it. The car up on jack stands. That's when I was putting in my valves, running my air lines, getting ready to test out the whole system. This is when I just put in the A-arm. Still had the coils before I put the bags in. And obviously, as you can tell, new brake lines. And then I switched up, like I said, went through a lot of parts, finding better parts, so I just replaced them. Spindles, repainted, used an aluminum color. Came out kind of nice, real nice silver kind of color. But I'll probably replace those with 2-inch drop spindles though. Here's a picture of the rear after I put some sound deadening spray on it. Got my airlines running through. Picture of the brake line. And the brake caliper. AVS. Dual needle for the front and rear. 200 psi. Single needle for the tank. 200 psi. And they do light up. I had to order that chrome bezel plate from AutoZone for like 12 bucks. There's my tank, 5-gallon, and my wiring, 80 amp relay for the compressors, 4-gauge wire running to it, check valves, drain valve, Edelbrock tie rods. They need to be cleaned up and buffed. They're kind of a little dull. Had them sitting around for quite a while. This is when I was running all my wires, getting everything ready, cleaning things up, running for the stereo system, checking for clearance for the bump stop, more coating, checking the clearance for tie rod. And there's the vehicle again, up on air. And that's about it, guys. I gotta go. Dinner's ready. So I'll have some more posted up for you guys later.